Every night, while the entire Lagos University campus slept, one girl stayed awake. Her name was Amina. At exactly midnight, she would lock her door, close her window curtains, and dim the light to a faint orange glow. Then, something strange would happen. She would sit before her mirror, whisper something no one could ever understand, and when the whisper ended, her reflection began to move on its own. Her classmates always wondered how she managed to have a new hairstyle every single morning. Sometimes braids, sometimes twists, sometimes full curls, sometimes long straight hair that looked like it came fresh from a salon. But nobody had ever seen her go to one. They used to joke. Maybe she has a stylist ghost. But the truth was darker than any of them could imagine. It was 12:15 a.m. The sound of the ceiling fan hummed lazily as Amina sat before her mirror. Her eyes were calm, but deep inside them was something heavy, something unspoken. She took a comb, brushed through her thick black hair, and whispered, "Adama, make me new again." A sudden gust of wind blew across the room even though the windows were locked. Her reflection in the mirror began to braid itself, gently, perfectly, as if invisible hands were working on it. The lights flickered. And then she smiled faintly. To her, this was normal. It had always been this way. The next morning, Amina walked out of the hostel in a bright red top and jeans, her new hairstyle catching the morning sun. Her best friend, Kemi, gasped. "Kemi, Amina. Again. You changed your hair." Amina, smiling, "I couldn't sleep, so I did it myself." "Kemi, by yourself? At midnight? Girl, are you okay?" Amina, quietly, "I'm fine, Kemi. I just like changing." But deep inside, Kemi knew something was off. No human could make such perfect hair overnight, not even a professional. And lately, Amina's eyes seemed distant, as if she was listening to something no one else could hear. By the second week, whispers filled Lagos University. "Amina has juju," some said. "She's using marine power," others murmured. Someone even claimed to see her reflection move when she wasn't standing near the mirror. The rumors grew so wild that even lecturers noticed her. In the cafeteria, students stared as she walked past, elegant, beautiful, and silent. Kemi tried to defend her friend, but fear had already taken root in her heart. One night, she decided to watch Amina secretly. That night, power went out across the hostel, but strangely, Amina's window still glowed faintly blue. Kemi crept close, hiding behind a tree. Through the thin curtain, she saw something that froze her blood. Amina sat before her mirror, hair floating slightly above her shoulders. Then, her head slowly tilted backward until it detached completely from her body, yet she was still alive. Her body calmly continued to braid the hair while her head rested on the table, eyes open, whispering softly. Kemi gasped and fell back. The lights flickered again, and the next thing she knew, the window went dark. When she woke up the next morning, Amina was already dressed, hair perfectly styled, smiling as if nothing had happened. "Amina, you look pale, Kemi. Are you okay?" Kemi, trembling, I didn't sleep well." From that day, Kemi stopped asking questions. But fear had entered her heart. Rumors of Amina reached Toby, a journalism student who loved mystery stories. He was known for recording strange things for his YouTube channel. He heard about the girl who changes her hair every night, and decided to investigate. One Friday night, he hid a small camera near Amina's window before midnight. What he captured changed his life forever. At exactly 12:03 a.m., the mirror began to glow. Amina's reflection smiled while her real body remained still. Then, her reflection stepped out of the mirror, took her hair, and began to braid it gently, like a mother caring for a child. Toby's hands shook. He whispered, "What in the world is this?" Suddenly, the reflection turned and looked directly into the camera lens, its eyes bright gold. The recording went black. The next morning, Toby approached Amina. "Toby, I saw what you do at night." Amina, coldly, "Then you should have stayed asleep." "Toby, what are you, Amina?" "Amina, something I didn't choose to be." She walked away slowly, leaving him speechless. That night, Toby checked his camera, but the footage was gone. Only one frame remained, Amina's reflection staring at him, her mouth whispering a word he could barely read, "Leave." That evening, Amina sat by her window, looking at the sunset. Tears rolled down her cheeks. She whispered, "Why me, Mama?" And for the first time, we are taken back to her village in Kano, where the secret began. The screen fades into her childhood home, her grandmother, and the forbidden ritual that cursed her bloodline. That night, Amina couldn't sleep. The city lights shimmered through her window, but her heart felt heavy. For years, she had hidden her truth behind beauty, behind the countless hairstyles that covered her pain. But memories have a way of finding you, even when you try to bury them. As the clock struck midnight, her mind drifted back. Back to the village she once called home. Amina was only 8 when her parents died in a strange car accident on their way to Kano. After their burial, she was sent to live with her grandmother, a quiet woman known in the village for her herbal wisdom and for something darker. The villagers whispered that Amina's grandmother was a woman of the mirror. No one ever dared visit her compound after sunset. Her house was filled with strange symbols and mirrors covered with white cloths. Amina never understood. All she knew was that her grandmother always warned her, "Never look into the mirror after midnight." But children are curious. One night, when thunder rolled and the wind howled through the thatched roof, Amina couldn't sleep. She heard whispers, soft, feminine voices calling her name. "Amina! Amina!" They came from the covered mirror. Trembling, she approached it, lifted the white cloth, and froze. In the mirror stood a beautiful woman with golden eyes and long black hair. "Don't be afraid, my child," the woman said. "I'm Adama, your bloodline." Amina's voice shook. "Are you Mama's sister?" The woman smiled. "I am the one who gives your family beauty. Every woman born from your line will carry my gift and my curse." The reflection extended a hand through the glass. And the moment Amina touched it, her life changed forever. A bright light filled the room. Her grandmother burst in, shouting, "No! What have you done, child?" But it was too late. The mirror cracked, and the spirit had entered her. The next morning, Amina woke up with strange marks behind her neck, small, golden symbols shaped like braids. Her grandmother wept. "You have awakened her, Amina. The spirit of Adama, she who was cursed to never age, never die, and to live through the mirrors of her daughters. What will happen to me? Every night, you will hear her voice. She will make your beauty her vessel. The day you resist her, she will take your life." From that day, Amina was never the same. Her hair grew unnaturally fast. Her reflection moved on its own. And sometimes, when she combed her hair, she felt another hand guiding hers. When Amina turned 15, her grandmother died in her sleep. That same night, the house caught fire, burning every mirror in the compound except one. The villagers said they saw a shadowy woman walking away from the flames, smiling. Fearing for her life, Amina was sent to the city to live with a distant relative. She hid her secret for years. She avoided mirrors, avoided sleepovers, avoided anyone asking too many questions. Until she entered Lagos University, where the lights, mirrors, and vanity of the city made it impossible to hide. In her dorm room, Amina sat still. Tears streamed down her face as she stared into the cracked mirror. "Why me?" she whispered. "Why can't I just be normal?" The voice replied from within, calm and haunting. "Because normal is for those without destiny." Amina shivered. You've ruined my life. No, the voice said softly. I made you unforgettable. At that moment, the door opened. It was Kemi, holding a Bible in her trembling hands. Kemi, Amina, I know now. I know what you are. But I also know God is stronger than whatever this is. Amina looked up slowly. Her eyes glowed faintly gold. Amina, you shouldn't have come here, Kemi. The room went cold. The mirror began to hum, and the reflection of Adama appeared again, smiling wickedly. Another curious one. Shall I take her too? Kemi screamed and raised the Bible. The light flickered violently, and suddenly, the mirror cracked again. Adama's reflection vanished. Amina fell to the ground, unconscious. When Amina woke up, she was in the university hospital. Beside her bed sat an elderly woman, a campus cleaner no one ever noticed before. The woman looked at her kindly and said, Child, do you think the spirit chose you by mistake? There's a reason your beauty draws both envy and danger. Amina blinked. Who are you? The woman smiled faintly. I am the last daughter of Adama before your grandmother. I broke the curse once, but it came for me again. Now, it's your turn. How? Amina asked weakly. You must face the spirit before the mirror of truth. The same one that started it, the one buried beneath your old home. Amina knew what she had to do. She packed her things and left Lagos quietly that weekend. Kemi tried to stop her, but Amina only said one thing. If I don't face her, she'll never let me go. The bus ride to Kano was long and heavy with fear. The rain poured all night as she reached her grandmother's abandoned hut. The walls were broken, but one thing remained untouched, the old mirror, half buried under ashes. She knelt before it, trembling. Adama. I'm not afraid anymore. A shadow began to rise from the mirror, beautiful and terrifying, with golden eyes that burned through the darkness. So, you've come back to destroy me? No, Amina said softly. To set both of us free. Amina returned to her grandmother's compound. The world itself seemed to hold its breath. The air was thick. The trees stood still. And the old mirror, the one that had haunted her dreams, gleamed faintly in the moonlight. She stood there, her heart beating hard against her chest. Her hands trembled as she reached forward and touched the cold, cracked glass. A voice came from within the mirror, low, sweet, and dangerous. Adama, you came back. After all these years, you finally accept who you are. Amina closed her eyes. No. I came to end this. The reflection began to shift. A woman stepped out of the glass, the same golden-eyed beauty she had seen as a child. But now, her face was covered in ancient markings, her hair moving as if alive. Adama, do you even know what you carry, child? Every strand of your hair holds a soul I once saved. Amina, you call it saving, but they are trapped, just like you. The spirit smiled sadly. And you think freedom comes without sacrifice? Amina lifted her hand. I'm not afraid anymore. The earth trembled. The mirror began to glow. The air filled with whispers, voices of generations before her. Amina was suddenly surrounded by smoke and light. She saw women, dozens of them, each with golden eyes and flowing hair, standing in a circle. They were the daughters of Adama. First woman, we carried her gift. Second woman, and her curse. Third woman, until one daughter was strong enough to return it. Amina fell to her knees, overwhelmed. What do I do? Voices, in unison, face her truth, not her beauty. Lightning flashed as Amina stood again before Adama. The mirror rippled like water. Adama, you can't destroy me. I live in you. Amina, then I'll destroy the fear that feeds you. She took out a small Bible from her bag, the one Kemi had given her before she left Lagos. Her hands shook, but her voice grew stronger with every word. The Lord is my light and my salvation, whom shall I fear? The spirit screamed. The glass cracked deeper. Adama, stop. You don't know what power you challenge. Amina, I know exactly what I challenge, bondage. A mighty wind blew through the house. The lamps shattered. But Amina didn't move. She stood firm, reciting louder. For God has not given me the spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. The mirror exploded in a flash of golden light. When the light faded, Amina saw Adama kneeling on the floor, her face now calm, no longer monstrous. Tears flowed down her ghostly cheeks. Adama, you did what none of us could, you faced me with love, not hate. Amina stepped closer. You were never my enemy. You were just broken, trapped in vanity and pride. The spirit nodded slowly. Then free me, my child. Amina reached out one last time, not in fear, but in forgiveness. As their hands met, the spirit smiled softly and dissolved into light, leaving behind a single golden braid that fell into Amina's palm. When the sun rose, the villagers found Amina unconscious in the ruins of the house. They carried her to the nearest hospital. For 3 days, she didn't wake. And when she finally did, her hair was gone, shaved clean. Kemi was by her side, crying with relief. Thank God you're alive. Amina smiled weakly. It's over. She's gone. Who? Adama. Her voice trembled. But I can still feel her peace. Months passed. Amina returned to Lagos University. Her hair began to grow again, but this time, it grew naturally. No more strange whispers, no more mysterious braids. Students noticed her calm glow, her gentle confidence. They didn't know what she had been through, they only saw grace. Amina joined the campus fellowship and began to speak to young women about identity, vanity, and spiritual truth. She told them, beauty is not in your reflection, it's in. Her words spread like fire across the university. One night after fellowship, a young lady approached her, shy, trembling. Sister Amina, my mirror moves sometimes. I'm scared. Amina looked at her, recognizing the same fear she once carried. She smiled and placed a hand on her shoulder. Then it's your turn to break the chain. The girl began to cry, and Amina prayed for her, firmly, boldly, like someone who had walked through darkness and come out shining. That night, for the first time in years, Amina slept peacefully. No whispers. No shadows. Just silence and light. They say every woman carries a mirror within her, a reflection of who she truly is. Some use it to admire themselves, others to remember what they've survived. For Amina, her reflection once carried a curse. But through faith, courage, and love, it became her greatest testimony. She learned that beauty fades, but truth remains. And sometimes, the most beautiful hair you can wear is the crown of freedom.